Go.
Hi everyone, so this talk is about the Hyperliquid ranking competition, and we're unleashing the meta model directly on chain, which also you all do, but we're trying to do it as well. So the DeAI meta model has achieved a 25% return in real life in the hedge fund over the last year, and the average correlation is only 2.9%. In the crypto tournament, it's achieving a correlation of 16.6%. So this is six times higher. So with this, can we make 6 times the returns? Let's try and work it out. So you can read this about CrowdCent. CrowdCent's been involved in DeAI for a long time. I think they were the first company that got venture capital backing to actually invest in the tournament. So they've been around a while. They're all about decentralized finance, essentially, trying to get crowdsourced predictions and execute them in the market. The two members are Jason and Ryan. So Jason is J-R-A-I on the competition. They've been around for a while. They presented a Numacorn to build like Numa blocks, which was like something to help you compete on the competition. And I'm not actually part of CrowdCent, but they're both based in America. I'm over here. I was coming here anyway, so they asked me to do this for them. So I'm an actuary in the UK. I do a lot of optimization, like portfolio optimization for insurance companies, and I've got a data science master's, trying to do some AI kind of stuff as well. I'm a DeAI Grandmaster for 2023, and I really like this idea, so I was excited to come and speak about it. So I think one important thing to discuss before we start is why we wanted to build a different competition. So we're inspired by DeAI. We're not trying to kind of take away from them. Their crypto tournament's thriving, and I think the high meta model performance shows that this is something that can work and work even better than the stock competition. So the ethos of DeAI is to use market neutral predictions. So we need to short and long, and the universe of assets on the DeAI crypto competition isn't easily shortable. So we were essentially trying to create a new universe where we can do our own thing and long and short every asset that we're predicting. The way we do this is we use Hyperliquid. So Hyperliquid's got 170 cryptos, and each of them is tradable long and short with leverage. So the portfolio we generate from CrowdCent, we can literally pull straight into Hyperliquid and trade with it. So this is the result. This was released I think it was about 3 months ago, I'm not completely sure. And we're up to 15 participants who are all, I think, long-standing DeAI participants, and we've got 2,000 submissions. So I just wanted to go into Hyperliquid in case anyone's not familiar. So it was founded by Jeff Yang, as a self-funded project after he was involved in high-frequency crypto trading. It's a team of 11 people, no venture capital, so it's all user-centric for the users, no kind of ulterior motives coming in. And they wanted to build a decentralized exchange where you can go long and short on everything. And this decentralized point is very important. You've got the FTX collapse, you don't want to build a good model, trade with it, everything goes under, you lose all your money. So that was part of the reason they built it. It's massive. So they've processed 330 billion in trading volume in just July 2025. And they did a lot of community-focused stuff. I remember when it first came out, I was seeing airdrops, which were 7 figures in dollars. So they really sort of gave the money to the community, people who were using it early. So the technology behind it is the reason this is kind of different from Uniswap or something is it works like a centralized exchange. You go on there, it kind of looks like you're on Binance or something like that. Like you just pick a token, it's a market order book, so you're trading directly against other people. And everything is on chain. So every order's on chain, it's all verifiable and transparent. Nothing off chain. Everything is there. There's nothing that funny that can be going on in the background. No hidden funds. Yeah, so the set spread trading, as I was saying, and then another important feature is the vaults. So on Hyperliquid, you can start your own vault, and I think it costs like $100, and essentially people can deposit money into your vault, you trade with the money, and you get a 10% of the returns they make on that money, and they get 90%. I don't really like that 10% set. I feel like the fee should be a bit higher, but you know, if you have a good model and you don't have the funds to make enough money from it, this is one way to go. So, the CrowdCent competition. It's inspired by DeAI, but built directly for crypto. So, it's the same ethos. We have crowdsourced ML models aggregated into a meta model, and then we have the universe of the Hyperliquid assets that you can trade in. It's a similar NL challenge to NumRAI. So you just rank token returns. There's two windows, 10-day and 30-day. And yeah, the signals translate directly into a long-short crypto portfolio, which you can trade directly into Hyperliquid. Like every asset you predict, or it comes from the meta model, will be tradable. So, it works, there's a data drop every day at 2 p.m. UTC. This is quite a limited data set, but just gives you something to get started. It's all price-based technical data, and you have 4 hours to submit predictions. You're predicting the ranks, so if you've done NumRAI before, you know exactly how that works. And I've just linked a tutorial notebook there. So this is just a basic one. It takes the data, fits an XGBoost model, and submits it in one of your slots. So you can, you know, it's just a good way if you want to play around. You just go in there, you can change the model, and you're rolling. So the scoring works a little bit differently. So we have this NDCG40. So this is essentially just looking at the top and bottom 40 assets. It weights the ones at the very top and the very bottom more, even in that 40, and reduces a score based on that. And then we have the Spearman correlation, so exactly the same as NumRAI. And then these are composited into the score, so I think they're just added together. And then you get a percentile leaderboard score on this, so you can compare yourself against other people. And there's the same kind of controls as you get with NumRAI predictions, so everything is normalized, and missing assets are defaulted to 0.5. So this is an example of the scoring page, and you can see here, these are my scores. You've got your Spearman 10-day, cumulative over time, Spearman 30-day, composite percentile, and then these NDCG scores as well. Going into a bit of data science now. So the data that is given by CrowdCent has lagged features. So for each feature you have like a 1 day, 2 day, 5 day, 10 day, 20 day, or something like that. And because these have a temporal element in them, you want to use a model which can actually make use of that. So we experimented by using an LSTM to reshape these inputs into an actual temporal feature vector, and we got a massive performance boost. So using the XGBoost from the tutorial notebook that I linked before, you get about a 0.06 Spearman correlation, and then this LSTM brings it up to 0.19. So it's a 3x improvement. And you can, well, you'll see this on the next slide, but there's a similar gain in the correlation and the NDCG scores. And you can also see on this that the 10-day horizons score a lot higher than the 30-day ones. Which is kind of interesting because on NumRAI, I know they've started doing the 60-day targets now, and they seem to score a lot higher than the 30-day. So it shows kind of how volatile crypto is and how fast it moves. So yeah, if you use this notebook, you'll learn how to do proper time series cross-validation. So it has a breaking the training data into 3 different sets temporally, because you don't want to train on data in the future when you're then predict on data in the past, because you're never going to do that. And you'll see that these sequential LSTM models dramatically improve the performance on this challenge. Oh yeah, you've got the color blend there as well. So if you go to this, you can run this LSTM-based model, and if you combine the two notebooks, you can go and submit it straight away, and you'll probably be doing pretty well. So these are the results of that experiment I was showing you. I don't know how easy it is to see, but the blue dots are the scores from the LSTM regressor, and the orange dots are from the XGBoost. You can see, you've got a pretty steady score, and much higher than the orange. So now, these are just kind of some screenshots from the website, just to see what functionality there is compared to like NumRai. So this is just the meta model, so you can see the highest ranked assets and the lowest ranked assets. So if you just wanted to go into this, have a look, decide to show a few of these and log a few of these, you can start making use of this straight away. You can see a full asset directory, so this is just a list of everything. You can search, you can filter. I just want assets between 1 and 0.9. These are the ones I'm going to want, and then same the other way around. You can also look by individual asset. So this is quite an interesting one because you've got Ethereum. So we've got the 10-day predicted ranks in blue and the 10-day actual ranks in orange. So you can kind of see how this evolves over time. And you also get a correlation. So this has got a negative correlation. So it's basically saying that the meta model isn't very good at predicting Ethereum. So this is something you can use if you don't want to trade using these. You can look at the individual assets that you're going to trade and kind of make sure the model actually predicts well of them. Because there might be some that it's very good at, some that it's very bad at. It tends to do very well with like meme coins, because they always go down. So there's also an MCP server. I would have liked to demo this now, but I'm on my work laptop because I was traveling when I got this invitation. So this is basically an AI-based way to explore everything. So you go into it, this is all detailed in the documents, and you can list all the challenges, get information, do whatever. So you can just basically tell this to like build a model and submit, and it will create a plan and submit a model for you. So that's one way to get in, even if you don't know how to code at all. There's also a flight simulator. I don't really understand this. This is Jason's invention, but essentially you can fly over all the stock predictions over time. I think there's a bit too much information to kind of make anything out of it, but you can see, like with this stock, it's going up and down, and that's predictions over time. Not sure how to use, but. So there's also CC-Liquid, which is another client. So this lets you take a data provider and try different portfolio controls. So with this one, we've got 30 longs, 20 shorts, 5 times leverage, and the rebalance every 10 days. And then you put the fees and slippage you expect in your trades, and it will backtest your model for you and give you some results. So see, this one's got a total return of 85%. It gives you your max drawdown 25. You can see how the equity increases over time, and you can also see what your biggest, where you are on the drawdown kind of scale at each point in time as well. This might be a little bit too small for you guys, but so with this tool you can also run backtests on many different types of portfolios at the same time. So this is a test where you varied the number of long and short positions, you varied the leverage, you varied the days that you're going to take between rebalancings, and then you get all the same outputs here. So you can see we've got the best results with 30 longs and 20 shorts. I think this is like a 90-day period where the market's gone up, so it kind of makes sense that you want more longs than shorts, and with 5 times leverage. And that's achieved a sharp ratio of 14, which is hard to believe. Jason ran this, but yeah. So there's also a tool to directly trade with the predictions. So here, they're kind of like the inputs to this system. So you've got your network. This is on testnet because we didn't want to make any bad trades and lose everything. You've got your profile, your owner, the vault, and the signer. And now, in the data source section, if you don't believe in CrowdCent but you believe in NumRI, you can actually set this to the NumRI metamodel predictions and set all the rebalancing and everything, and it will trade the NumRI metamodel for you on Hyperliquid. There's only about, I think it's 70 of the cryptos on NumRI which are directly tradable on Hyperliquid, so you're not getting the full position. But yeah, you can do this. You choose the prediction time frame, so 10 days is more predictive than 30, so here we've done 10, and then it tends to work out that the 10-day rebalancing is good for 10-day predictions, which I guess is what we would expect. So yeah, again, I'm not the creator of this, Jason is, so if you have any questions, feel free to shoot at me and I'll try my best, but if you have anything that I don't answer, this is a Discord link where you can check everything out. I think it's only active for 6 days because that's how they work, but yeah. And then the competition is here. And yeah, feel free to play around. Thank you.
So when trading on Hyperliquid, who's the counterparty?
Other people on Hyperliquid.
Other people, okay, but if every time all the assets go up, somehow do you have to deposit ETH, for example, to be able to trade ETH on Hyperliquid?
No. So the way it works is you deposit USDC, and then it's there's a spot market, so you can trade with spot and have assets like in your wallet. But the way I think it's most useful to use is there's a perpetuals market. So you just enter into basically a contract. You either enter into that contract and you own 10 times your value of the shares, and then when you sell it, you close.
So the USDC is a collateral then?
Sorry?
The USDC is then the collateral?
Yes.
Like the perps, is the USDC on Arbitrum or it's on Vienna?
Yeah, Arbitrum.
I have a different. Go on.
Put your first slide up, it's got your context. Your first slide.
I got a question for you. Have you or have Jason or the team tried to backtest the NumRI crypto meta model?
I'm not sure. I've been playing around with it using my own. I've got my own like Hyperliquid trading system in Python. I've been playing around. It's variable. There's been there's been a few coins that have made very adverse moves against me recently, but yeah, no, it tends to trend up, and then sometimes things just crash.
Thanks.
I think that's where like correlations works. Sorry, not correlations. Ranking works well with stocks because they're not crazily volatile. The big ones, not with crypto. Like if you have one big loser, it can kind of wipe everything out. So I think it's one thing to think about if you do trade with this.
What's the incentive in competing in this competition? Do you get anything?
Good question. No, I'm kind of glad someone brought this up. I realise I've not included it, so it's nice to have the opportunity to speak. So currently, nothing new. The benefit is, well, you get this benefit even if you don't submit, but you have access to the meta model, which you can use to trade. I think in the longer term, Jason has the idea of setting up a vault, which would be only given access to by people who are submitting in the competition. But again, it needs to be worked out because there still needs to be that skin in the game element to it. But I know that like Hyperliquid isn't legal to trade on in the US at the moment, so he's not managed to get something like that. But we're just trying to let people predict, give some kind of info to them, and then have this meta model that people can use to trade. That makes sense?
Good. Thanks again.